So we can now pose the character's body because we've gone in, applied our rig so that we can move the eyes, move the head. Depending on how you approach this, as you can see, you can move her all around, quickly pose her, job done. But the only area we haven't done is her face. Now we can get away with a lot with the body, but a lot of expression is shown via the face, so it's important that we add some sort of ability to pose the face in there. Previously we added in a joint which allowed us to open and close the jaw. If I just demonstrate that now. So we can get some sort of movement in the head, but we can add another layer on top of this by using blend shapes, which will allow us to deform the face and just get a lot more expression out of it. So let's jump in and just start to create a blend shape. So what we need to do first is duplicate our main model, and then we deform that to create the blend shape that we're going to use. So let's just select this, let's just duplicate that. I'm just going to unlock it in the channel box. Unlock. The channel box is just floating off screen here for a moment, so see there, just left click, unlock. So let's just isolate this. So to create a blend shape, it's just a case of going in, selecting these vertices and adjusting them. It's useful to go into your tool settings. See here, just double clicked on the move tool, make sure reflection settings is on, set to X, so that we can edit one side and it will automatically update the other side. You can also enable soft select, which will apply a fall off. Ooh, where's that gone? You can do this by pressing B as well to turn that on and off, and if you hold down B, drag your middle mouse button, that dictates the fall off. So as you can see there, we get a nice smoother fall off from our adjustments. So just as a very quick example, let's just go in and start and create a very quick blink. So the fall off on that is too large, so let's just adjust that a little bit so it's a bit smaller. Now you can spend a lot more time on this just to get this blink looking a lot nicer, a lot more natural. I'm just doing this very quickly. So just adjust that down. So get something like this. Make sure you're not accidentally selecting the back of the mesh. We only want to edit the areas that are actually going to deform. So I'm just going to press B to deactivate soft select. So move that section down there. Press B again to activate it again. Just move the corner of the eye down. And because the eyelid moves over the eyeball, we need to move this out to compensate. So let's say that's very roughly, you've created a blink. Now if we attach this, obviously both eyes are going to blink at the same time when we adjust our blend shape slider. But because we've done it to both sides on this single mesh, we can quickly generate two blend shapes from this one. So let's just duplicate that mesh again, just move it over so we can see. What we're going to do, actually I need to bring the channel box back for this. Nope. What am I doing? Right, make that a little bit smaller. So let's say this is her left blink. We select the vertices on the right hand side of her face there, and up here it says CVs, click to show. If we open this up and scroll down, we'll see some of these have values on, and they're the vertices that we've edited. Let me just turn off symmetry. There we go. So we can just see the vertices that we've selected there. So these are the ones that we've edited, so they've got an offset value, and that's what works with the blend shape. But we only want it on one side of the face here. So let's just drag down here to select all of this, press 0, and there you go, it's reset that eye on that side, but this side is still blinking. So now we can do it the same on the opposite side here. Drag down here, put a 0 in there to reset it, and there we've got a right blink and a left blink just by using the same model, and just by duplicating it and resetting the opposite sides. And obviously you'd go in and you'd give her a name like right blink and left blink, because these names will be what come through when you attach your blend shapes, so it needs to be something recognizable. So something like that. And there we've got two blend shapes, and as you can see, we could probably get a lot more out of this by raising and lowering the eyebrows, giving her an angry look. We can also do the same with the mouth if you so wish. Create one shape for the mouth and maybe split it into two so you can get sort of a sneer effect. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete these two now and bring up some that I've created earlier. Let's turn off isolate down here, and you'll find these in your scene as well as you're working along. So as you can see, we've got lots of brow down, brow up, sad eyebrows, normal eyebrows raised and lowered. We have our blinks here and there. We have a sad face, a smile, an ooh sound, because if your character's going to talk a lot, it's important to add in those phonemes. So your A, E, O, U, M, sort of those sort of shapes. And don't forget, we've added in our jaw joint as well. So this ooh, we can adjust the amount of ooh by opening and closing that jaw joint. So that gives us, as well as having the blend shape there, having the jointing also gives us a lot more freedom so that we can create more from that. Now you can see a few more blend shapes hiding in the back here, but I'll talk about those a little bit later on. So how do we go about adding these blend shapes into this character here? Well, we simply just go in. We're just going to select all of these. I'm just going to leave that as it is. I'll add in these extra three. Select our main mesh last, and we go to Create Deformer, Blend Shape. We're just going to open up those options. Now we're just going to do one with the basic default options. Click Apply. Close that down. So let's just hide the blend shapes for now. As you can see, we now have a blend shape node down here. We've got our names of our various models in here. I'll just make this a little bit bigger. So if we adjust these, we can see the face is going to change. We have our left blink, right blink, and if you're going to Window Animation Editor's Blend Shape, just bring this down here, we have a nice little window where we can adjust these. So if I adjust the right brow down, like so, but what we can also do is we can adjust these further. So we could maybe have that as 2, and as you see, it just carries on the movement of those vertices. So if you wanted to, we could have the eyebrow like there. 1 is where our blend shape is, but as we move past it, as you can see, it's moving it even further. In this case, it looks awful and it doesn't really work, but the option's there for if you want to overemphasize a blend shape. If you're doing maybe a cartoon style animation and you need to have that flexibility with your blend shapes, you know, just so you can exaggerate things a little bit more, then you have that option there. Now, because we've skinned this model first, we may have some problems with the blend shape. So let me just show you. Let's move her head, maybe move her arm down as well. So let's say she's posed and we want to go in, and then we want to make her blink, or maybe we want her to smile. As you can see, the whole model is snapping back to the whole blend shape. So the arm's moving back to where the arm is in the full blend shape. So it's not just working off the vertices that we've adjusted, it's working off everything. So let's just go back and let's restart and recreate our blend shape. Just undo these. There we go. So we have our model selected, we have our main mesh selected last, create deform as blend shape. What we're going to do this time is go into our advanced tab, change deformation order to front of chain. Click create. Let's just hide our blend shapes. So now if we pose her, like we did before, look at our blend shapes, let's go to a smile, and as you can see it's now only changing the vertices which have been edited in the blend shape. And the good things about blend shapes is, if we're not happy with that smile and we want to change it, we can go in and adjust the blend shape model and it will update on this model as well. So there's like a direct connection. You can also delete the blend shapes, these actual models in the background here, out of the scene if you want to clean up the scene, and the information will still be baked onto this main mesh, but you won't be able to go in and then edit the blend shapes afterwards. There are options for you to rebake out all the blend shapes from this mesh, but that's getting a bit more advanced and we're just looking at the basics here. So there we have blend shape applied and the model can deform as well. So let's just undo those last few. Get her back into a basic pose. Now there were a few other blend shapes in there which you probably noticed. Let's just go to our animation editor, blend shape again. Click select so that we can see the model here. What you can also do in this window is just change the orientation to horizontal if you're happier working that way. Now, because we've added blend shapes to the face and we've used the whole model in this, so we don't have to detach anything, why not take that a step further and also add blend shapes to the body? Maybe this character, let's say during the duration of the project, she gets pregnant and we have to see her body changing as the baby's growing inside her. So here we can also have a blend shape for her stomach as the baby's growing, and obviously when a woman's pregnant her waist will change as well, and also her chest. So we've got a sort of a weird science thing going on there. And this is a good example of being able to over exaggerate areas. So we could press 2, go way over the top there, put a value of 2 in there, and that goes way over the top there as well. But as well as putting blend shapes on the face, this just shows that you can also edit the body shape as well. So it's not just restricted to the face. So if we set those back to 1, obviously they're just there just to overemphasize those areas. So let's turn those off. So we've added blend shapes to the body. So now we can go in, we can pose her, and through this blend shape node we can give her facial expressions. And to make life easier, what you should do is maybe, because we have this node in here which controls the head, why not add the attributes for the blend shapes down here to this controller and then connect them up using the node editor like we did before, and then that way all the controls are nice and neatly in one place. You don't have to physically go in, select the blend shape node, because they're all already sitting on this this controller here. And all you need to do is go in, modify, add attribute, that will add a blank attribute, and then you just connect it up. So that's a simple way of just tidying up your scene and making animation a lot easier. So there's one more thing I wanted to touch on before we finish this tutorial, and that is just to talk about her clothing. If I just bring some up here like this. So we have the hair there, and because it's short hair, all that is just parented using a parent constraint to the head joint. So the hair just moves with the head. Nothing complicated about that. But what do we do about the dress? Obviously, she moves around, her dress isn't going to follow. Well, there are two options available. What we could do is, let me just make sure those joints are visible in the middle there. Let's just bring up our outliner. So, character root, move character, root control. Oh, actually, I think it's just hidden down here. That's it, yep. So, we could just skin the dress exactly like we did with the body. So we select the dress, select the root, skin, edit smooth skin, bind skin, smooth bind. Joint hierarchy, 2, 10, so exactly the same as before. Let's click apply. Now if we move her, the skin is going to move with the model and with the skeleton. So the dress is now influenced directly by the skeleton, just like the body is. And if we want to have the weighting values on this model, because remember we've only just bound it, so it's going to be default weighting, we could just select the body, select the dress, skin, edit smooth skin, copy skin weight. So that's going to copy the weighting information from the body to the dress. So now they should kind of deform the same way. So as you can see, that's deforming like that. So that's one option. But the problem then is, what if we go back to our blend shapes and let's say we wanted to adjust the body over time. So her stomach gets bigger, but it's popping through the dress. So we're going to have different models of the dress depending on where she is in her pregnancy. Now, there is another option, and that's to use a wrap deformer rather than a smooth bind. So let me just delete the history on this. So that will remove the binding. So we're back to square one. So now all we're going to do is, use a wrap deformer. So we're going to, just bear with me, I keep forgetting which way around you have to select these. So let's select the model first, then the dress, create deformer, wrap. Just gives us a second. Let's just see if this has worked. Nope, I think that was the wrong way around. So let's just undo that. Select the dress and then select the body. Create deformer, wrap. So now, you see the dress is now moving with the body just like it did before. Let me just change that from gimbal back to object. Local, sorry. There we go. So as we can see, the dress is moving with the body, just like it was when we bound it to the skeleton, like we did before. But the difference now is, if we go to our blend shape, we increase the size of her stomach, you see, the dress is now deforming with the actual body. Let's just hide that skeleton there, just to clean it up a little bit. Adjust her waist. So no matter what we do to the body, the dress is moving with it. And that's because the wrap deformer isn't attached to the joints. So it's not moving with the influence of the joints. It's actually attached to the body mesh. So basically, how the body mesh deforms, the dress will follow, because the dress is basically wrapped around those vertices and those polygons. So this is why when we deform the mesh, the dress deforms with it. Whereas before, when we used a skin cluster and a smooth bind, the dress was bound to the joints, not the body mesh. So, I mean, both of these options have their plus sides, and they also have their downsides. So it depends what you want to be able to do with your character. And obviously, if your clothing isn't skin tight like she is here, you may want to use different options just to get the kind of deformation that you want. I mean, obviously you could also, if you so wanted to, apply a cloth deformer so that the her clothing moved in a more realistic manner, because it's being controlled by dynamics and forces and influences and things. But we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves there. All we wanted to do was create this virtual actress, which we can pose, we can possibly animate, which we can now we've gone to the trouble of rigging her. We've added in blend shapes so that we can give her a cheeky smile or a frown if she's shocked, just so she can now show emotion. We've also added in some blend shapes to the body so that we can deform the body if we want to, again to create different characters down the line. We could make her chunkier, we could, like we did, we could make her pregnant, we could do all sorts with her just by using blend shapes and not having to go out and build a completely new character from scratch.